In a quaint hamlet surrounded by gentle meadows, there was a young man known as Kenji. Kenji was notable in his community for constantly having an overactive mind. He was prone to overthinking, consistently occupied with regrets of the past and anxieties about the future. His thoughts were a never-ending stream, preventing him from experiencing tranquility. One day, Kenji learned of a wise Zen sage residing atop a faraway hill. This sage was reputed to hold the key to achieving inner calm and serenity. Motivated by curiosity and a deep desire for peace, Kenji set out on a quest to seek the sage's counsel. After a long and tiring journey, Kenji arrived at the hill's summit. There, he found the sage in silent meditation, exuding an aura of profound peace. Kenji approached him with great respect and knelt before him. "Venerable sage," Kenji began, "I am in search of your wisdom. My mind is a whirlwind of thoughts, and I long for stillness. Can you guide me in quieting my mind?" The sage opened his eyes, greeting Kenji with a gentle, knowing smile. "Ah, to quiet the mind you wish? Then let me show you the way," the sage responded. The sage led Kenji to a serene garden, in the middle of which stood a large clay urn filled with water. Kenji observed as the sage took a scoop, filled it with water from the urn, and carefully poured it into a similar pot. "Now, Kenji," the sage instructed, "your challenge is to empty this urn. You must transfer all its water to the smaller pot without spilling any." Kenji was initially baffled by the task. How could he possibly transfer all the water from the large urn to the smaller pot? Still, he accepted the challenge and commenced his task. Kenji toiled for hours, scooping and pouring diligently. However, the urn seemed to never empty, and Kenji's frustration grew, further agitating his mind. Watching Kenji struggle, the sage approached with a compassionate expression. He softly touched Kenji's shoulder and spoke. "Dear Kenji," the sage whispered softly, "you are so focused on emptying the urn that you've overlooked the essential first step. Before you can empty the urn, you must empty your mind." Confused, Kenji looked at the sage. "But how can I empty my mind?" The sage's smile was warm and reassuring. "Release your worries, fears, and clinging thoughts," he advised. "Concentrate solely on the task before you. Live fully in the present moment, and everything else will fall into place." Taking a deep breath, Kenji let go of his frustration. He shifted his focus to each action, relishing the sound and feel of the water. Soon, he found himself in a state of flow, his mind clear and his movements smooth and natural. As Kenji's mind cleared, the urn seemed to respond to his inner peace. With each scoop, water poured easily into the smaller pot, and the urn slowly began to empty. When Kenji transferred the final drop of water, he looked towards the sage, his eyes wide with wonder and appreciation. "See, Kenji," the sage said, "when your mind is empty, you align with the universe's rhythm, you become immersed in your task, and everything aligns naturally." Kenji understood then that the peace and clarity he sought had been with him this whole time. He carried the sage's wisdom in his heart from that day forward, a constant reminder to live in the present and embrace inner stillness.